What's happening, guys? Welcome to another video. Without getting into a bunch of stuff, let's just go through some pocket money from the week and see if we can find anything worth more than face value. You're probably like, what are you talking about? Basically, you can go through your regular banknotes and find ones that you can resell to local coin shops, gold shops, or on eBay or something for more money than in this case, $5 value of this bill. So let's go through them. I'll tell you what to look for, what I look for, and see if anything's collectible or valuable. First, I like to look at these, if I can talk. First, I like to look at these serial numbers, see if they match up, see if any patterns are in them, which are known as fancy serial numbers. And in this case, there's not. Ones that are good to look for are going to be birthday notes or date notes. So they have a date since there's 8 digits. For example, like 0503 1989, May 3rd, 1989. Or more notably, historical dates, stuff like 4th of July, 1776, stuff like that. Starts of war dates, things in American history, world-changing events, stuff like that. So those are all things that can be valuable serial number-wise. Of course, misprints, ink errors, and miscuts of the note, shifts in the print, shifts in the seals. And if you're getting confused or you're bored or whatever, you can hop over to my website, and it's all free information on what to look for, straightforward, where you don't have to listen to my annoying voice. Nothing there. We'll move a little bit quicker now that I've jawed you a little bit. Really beat up $1 note, series 2013. Really common on these is usually an over ink on the third digit over from the left. I don't know why I'm pointing here, but third digit from the left. This one's normal printed. Little bit of shift up in the seal and the serial numbers, which usually coincide. But not dramatic enough to hold on to. Nothing on the back. This gives a good example of how American money, U.S. money rather, is printed. It's a multi-phase printing process known as intaglio, which means like some stuff is on the bill, other stuff is in the bill. So you can see how portions of the note have wear and deteriorated, whereas the seals and the serial numbers are really visible still. Those are because those are arguably the most important part of the note due to keeping track of them via the BEP and whatnot. Nothing on the back, but I do like to keep an eye out around the great seals. There's a lot of graphics there. So you can find some kind of smudge print, misprints sometimes. 2017 note also has that third digit over ink, which is really common. Another thing I get asked about a lot is it looks like a thumbprint down here. That is actually just wet ink transfer. On this one's not too bad, but you can see it just a little bit. I'm sure we'll find one in this bill search that's like larger. But that's wet ink transfer from one note to another, or it's when they heavily printed the depiction of Washington here. And his little hatch pattern lapel there shows through the other side. So that's not an error, but kind of give you a reason for that. 2017 also, nothing in the serial number. Nothing jumping out across the note too much. Let's look at the other side. Yeah, a little missing print here, but I would say it's probably damage on the side of the pyramid there, right above the N in Novus. And nothing here. Keep an eye out around all the repetitious imagery of the number 13. So the stars, the oak leaf, the stripes, the tail feathers, kind of a whole bunch of representations of 13 going on, 13 colonies. A little repetition of 2s and 1s, but with patterns, unless it's just 3 digits, being a trinary note is what they call them, or they're in a block pattern, so like all 2s, then all 4s or something. Just a couple of repetitious 2s and 1s, like in this serial number, is not going to command any extra value. A lot of people ask me, like, hey, where do you sell your bills? I don't sell them as much. I just collect, really. I used to sell somewhat on eBay. You can sell a little bit on there. I've gotten some graded. I've never really had, like, a $50 million bill or anything like that, or something worth a ton of money like that. So I've never gone through, say, Heritage or something. But in some of the coin groups that I'm a part of, there's quite a few people that have. Nothing there. Ooh, kind of a thick print on here. of the date and the signature, so maybe just kind of heavy ink from being re-inked previous to this sheet being printed. Nothing jumping out. A little bit more of that wet ink transfer. This is just damage up here. It's hard to tell in the camera, but it's actually just black something rubbed off onto the note. Triple fours, but nothing really going on here. I haven't found any date notes or anything crazy like that. Cool collectible dates in quite some time. Had some repeaters, had some star notes and stuff in the last searches, so not too bad. I won't complain about the little finds. This 2017 bill is probably the best condition so far. It's printed appropriately. It's nice and centered, and then overall, minus a little fold for being in my wallet, it's in not bad condition. Condition's one of the biggest things. I mean, any folds, tears, discoloration, of course, is going to take away from value over face value if it's collectible. Nothing in the serial number here. Only changes in new $1 notes is the signatures on the bottom. It'll be the first time for 2021 notes that 2 women's signatures are on them, which is neat. 2017A really beat up. Been folded in half and vertically and horizontally. And nothing in the serial number here. The serial number is the easiest to check out. There's a lot of people that do videos where they simply look for star notes. They don't even look for anything else. So hopefully my videos don't like bore you. I mainly want to go through and look for every kind of collectible thing. Like this. Little star note action. Wish it was a date note. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Oh, man. There we go. Man, I bought this Peruvian coffee. Anyway, who cares? It is the best coffee ever. So, if you have coffee or tea suggestions, I have been a caffeine addict for many years. Let me know in the comments your suggestion on really good coffees. I love me a medium roast. Anywho, 2017 beat up, was wet at some point. This A is actually almost gone. Washington's kind of got one eye missing there, so that's one thing going on. Star notes are awesome, though. They're replacement notes. Essentially, something happened to the predecessor of this note, or the one it replaced, during production. What's funny about them is this serial number note for this star note is actually probably not the one that it replaced. So there's actually maybe a duplicate out there. We'll check out the star note at the end of the video to see a little more info on it. Other than that, nothing really jumping out, so I'll set that aside. 2017A. Nothing really here. One thing is you can get broken ladders. This is not one, but if you had like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even though they're not in order, you could usually sell those for like $3 to $5 for a $1 note, which, yeah, $5 isn't necessarily the most, but 5 times the value of a $1 bill is really stellar. 2017A, I've actually never looked at the slight difference in print in the series date. But anyway, I love these $5 notes. They underwent a redesign in early 2000s to combat to form anti-counterfeiting measures on them that were more substantial. I believe it was like Peru or Brazil or something. But they were producing quite a bit of $5 notes. And the $5 US banknote is the most counterfeited US banknote, since I think it sits low denominationally, but they're used really heavily. So they're not checked as much at stores if they are fake. And that's why I like Dollar Generals and Family Dollars and stuff, where the 5 would be used really heavily. They actually check those with a counterfeit pen. Really close to a broken ladder here as well. Nothing really jumping out though, so we'll move on. Up here, it forms a constellation is what they refer to it as. It's called Orion. It's kind of right here. It's an anti-counterfeiting measure, but sometimes when they print these, they can kind of be wonky. It's printed inside the actual threading, the cotton linen mix on the note. So sometimes there's little misprints. Bunch of 8s here. Man, I wish we didn't have this 5 or 7. It was just 08, 08, 08, 08. I would have held on to that immediately, even with the damage to the portrait of Washington. I think I could have sold that for probably $20 to the right person in my group. Better condition would have been a little nicer, but very close to a collectible serial number. Back of the note doesn't seem to have anything on it, really, as far as collectability. So we'll move on. Getting down there. Last few notes. Looks like I got a 20 peeping out of there. Nothing in the serial number. 2017A. Really good condition, though. Little bit of kind of... When you look at this with this little... I don't know if you can see that, but with the tinting of green right here, it's right on this fold. So I would assume the bill got slightly damp, and that just bled the ink a little bit. So don't get confused with that as far as an error is concerned. Nice twos right in the middle there. It would have been nice to have more repeating than that. Nothing on the back of this $1 note. There's a better example of that kind of thumbprint looking print through of Washington's coat. So just give you a better example. Last couple of notes. Nothing in the serial number on this bad boy. A little bit of a fold, but good old $20 to go towards lunch later. See a little bit of that serial number printed through there next to the tree. Sometimes if you can actually get the serial number and it's red, well, it'd be backwards, but printed all the way through, you can sell those for pretty good money. Nothing there. This is just damage-free little booger from the previous owner. And nothing on the back. Good repetition of fives in this 2009. Oddly, this 2009, I think, is the oldest one we've seen. So not too old. We came across a couple of early 2000s and like 90s notes in a couple videos ago. So it's nice to see older notes pop up, albeit 2009 and kind of newer are going to be what you see mostly. A little bit of repetition here, but no great repeater notes in this search this time. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Almost a no date, no series date $1 note from Damage down here. On the back. Nothing too crazy. Nice condition, 2017 note. Clean on the back, nothing really jumping out minus some little ink smears and stuff that are just from... well acceptable within the range of not an error. Good repetition here with 6-4. Wish you would add that 5 out of there and that 0 out of there. Just had 4-6 or 6-4 across the whole thing. 2017 note. Really, really clean. Probably now the nicest one in this bill search. Look at my sweet little corgi mat. But not too crazy on the finds this time around. What did we find? Little star note action, beat up, well loved. But we'll go over to mycurrencycollection.com and we'll see what the dealio is with this star note, see if we can find a little more info on it and see how rare it is. Let's check that out. All right, so we're over on mycurrencycollection.com. I'm going to go to the star note lookup and input the info on this star note and the serial number using an asterisk for the star. And then this should show us some information on this note. So this will show us the print run. You can see that 33,200,000 of these were made. And this one is from kind of your standard run. So it's not going to be worth a ton despite the fact it's also just beat up. Now there's some extra info on star notes. So let's look at the two different types, which is sheet notes and regular notes. Now sheet print type are used prior to the cutting of the sheets. Regular print type are used after the cutting. Now, there's a lot more information over on mycurrencycollection.com, so check that out. But essentially, this adds into the rarity of your note. If we hop back to the information on this note, we can see a little bit more, kind of including, rarity level as it's kind of telling you here on the site. This one being kind of less rare. So that's it for the bill search today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought, as well as what you've come across in your coin and bill searches lately. I love hearing about it. Keep in tune for the end of this week. I'm going to have a giveaway for going over 70,000 subscribers, and I'll be giving away some silver, some coin guides, a whole bunch of stuff. So stay tuned for that on Friday. All you got to do is be a subscriber and enter the free giveaway. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next video.